Adam, the human representative in the Ragnarok matches. Initially, he was supposed to be going against Shiva, but in reality, having to deal with Zeus having one of the best fights within the series. Adam is the forefather of humanity, being the first ever human to exist, also being made in the likeness and image of the gods. He was expelled from Eden with Eve after the situation with the apples went down, and they proceeded to create humanity. But how strong is Adam? Now, his main feats do come from fighting Zeus, being able to do things like twist Zeus's head. Even without his brass knuckles, Adam is still able to wound Zeus, and he was only seriously putting up his guard until Zeus achieves his Admus form. You could say that Adam is far superior to Zeus in both his normal and muscular forms, and is actually shown pretty relative to Admus form Zeus, still being able to hurt Admus form Zeus. The only reason Zeus won really was due to plot armor. Adam most likely would have killed Zeus. Like Zeus even stated himself that Adam flattened Zeus on his ass. So, for reference, how strong is Zeus? Zeus, in his Adam's form, can hit so hard that it was described to be as a one-hit kill, and puts all of Zeus's strength behind each blow. Zeus in his Adam's form was also implied that he can destroy the heavens if he wanted to. Now, we don't have that much information about the cosmology of Record of Ragnarok as this video is going up anyways, but I will be using as much information we currently have. As I said, during the posting of this video, this is just the information we have. It was said that Valhalla, Helheim, and Midgard are three different layers of one world, with the Bifrost helping certain gods be able to go between these worlds. The gods being Zeus himself, Shiva, Odin, and Hades. If any other god tried to use Bifrost, they would go straight to Helheim. You could potentially argue that these three layers possibly mean they're each universal in size, since worlds in Japanese can also mean universe, and certain places in Valhalla, like the Garden of Eden, have been stated to be infinite in size, but the infinite size statement can either refer to the fact that infinite can just mean really large, or the fact that it could potentially be hyperbolic, since Record of Ragnarok has a history with hyperbolic statements. But for now, as of writing this script and making this video, this is the best information we have until then, and unless the next chapter has some more information, the best we could give Adam's form Zeus from this information is about universal. Zeus, even in his skinny normal state, was still able to overpower Shiva, with Shiva backing down where he initially tried to fight Zeus. Shiva being stated twice to be able to create and destroy worlds. It was implied that it's worlds as in planets, since they were referring to Shiva creating the earth. Shiva being the greatest brawler and the strongest god of destruction in heaven by a long shot. And Shiva even has a transformation that is described by Indian gods to be a completely different level of strength. Zeus was also stated himself that he saw the Big Bang as nothing more than a frill. The Big Bang obviously creating the universe. Now it's likely that Zeus tanked the Big Bang, since Zeus is a pretty violent, battle hungry fighter, especially when he was younger. Young Zeus was able to defeat the embodiment of time itself, his father Kronos, which is still referred in later chapters like chapter 62. Zeus, alongside his two brothers, were described as the three strongest brothers in Greece, and Zeus was there to fight and defeat the army of giants, while Hades fought the Titans. The giants and Titans were called the heaven's second strongest enemies, or the heaven's two strongest enemies, or something similar, meaning they are likely comparable to that of Zeus' father, Kronos. All of this scales to Zeus obviously would do the same for Adam. The only humans that would actually come close to Adam in terms of overall strength would be, say, Sasaki Kojiro, for example, amongst one or two other characters. Since Kojiro was able to grow so strong he defeated Poseidon, he should obviously scale to a similar tier. Poseidon has been stated to be the Zeus of the sea and has been said multiple times to be the most feared Greek god. Poseidon was also thought to kill Admus, but in reality, Admus was turned to a cyborg due to his injuries from Poseidon. Admus drinking Cronus' blood likely made Admus somewhat relative, if not on the same tier, of strength as Kronos. There's also the fact that Adam would also be stronger than the majority of other humans besides, Sasaki and Quinshin. Those two would likely be a little more debatable, but they're still relative. But anyway, Adam is, as I said, likely stronger than other humans. Raiden, for example, being able to hurt and take blows from the planet destroying and creating Shiva. Lubu being comparable to that of Thor, since Lubu was able to slash and wound Thor, and was shown clashing with him and being referred to as equal. Thor was stated to be able to tear apart land and sea, and with Awakened Mjolnir, he was able to shatter the planet if he wanted to. There's also Buddha, who is more confident in comparison to Shiva when both characters confronted Zeus. Buddha also was able to defeat Hujon with high difficulty and was shown dominating Zero Fuko, or Zero for short. Zero being stated that he can destroy humanity before splitting into the seven lucky gods. When the seven lucky gods fuse back into Zero, he was stated that the heavens will fall and cause great disaster. Hujon was stated to destroy half of Helheim to pieces. Now, let's go on to Adam's speed. There aren't that many speed feats, but the feats Adam did actually perform during the fight with Zeus are still quite impressive, actually. Zeus, when he was going to hit Adam with a divine axe, after Zeus just got faster and faster, Adam dodged this divine axe with a spin dodge. Zeus's divine axe during this feat has been calculated to be around 1.35 times the speed of light. Within the same calc, Adam's dodge was calculated to be almost 2 times the speed of light. But there isn't really that much impressive feats as the feat I'm going to mention. When Zeus used the fist that surpassed time, he was going so fast that he, surpassed time itself via sheer speed. But the thing is, Adam just blitzed Zeus casually. Again, this is while surpassing time itself via sheer speed. This can just range from speed feat anywhere from infinite to, if not to, immeasurable in terms of speed, which is super impressive for anyone, really. In terms of abilities, Adam's main shtick is the Eyes of the Lord, which is an ability that lets him copy and replicate any technique performed by any man or god. He does this so well that Adam surpasses the original technique. When Adam's copying someone's technique, he can even form his hand's physical appearance a tad bit. One time when he used it, he used the Eyes of the Lords prior to the Ragnarok tournament, his hand slightly formed into claws. But does this really work on weapons, i.e. Mjolnir, considering it's practically impossible to form your hands into a fucking giant hammer, you know what I mean? But anyway, while using it, he copied Zeus's footwork, Jab Meteor, Divine Axe, True God's Right, which is Zeus's one-shotting attack, and Adam just copied practically all of Zeus's techniques in general. The Eyes of the Lord's ability would just fall under power mimicry, really. Though there is a limitation with the Eyes of the Lord, Adam's nervous system will overload when he is forced to copy too many techniques back to back, really, as seen when Zeus, in his Adam's form, started to use, well, his Adam's form and used just a bunch of techniques. And after overloading his nervous system, a stray drop of blood entering his eye practically blinded him for the rest of the fight. Even considering this, even knowing his limitation, the Ice Lord is actually a pretty decent ability that can easily pose a threat to anyone as long as they're not relative to Adam's strength and can't just, you know, perform back to back techniques, you know what I mean? Adam, at the end of the day, is a very powerful character, like a very, very powerful character in his own right, having universal to universal plus attack potency and durability from what we know, like things like cosmology scaling and everything else. Also having infinite to immeasurable levels of speed and having some of the best abilities in the franchise. That being the Eyes of the Lord, again, power mimicry, basically.